Shalom, everybody. Welcome to the Midrash portion of Reunion Roadmap. This is David Jones. With me today is Barry Phillips. Shalom, brother.
Shalom, David.
You know, I was thinking about some things recently. At the time of this recording, we've gone back through another cycle, gone back through another Torah reading. So we're back in the beginning of things. And so thinking about creation, thinking about the Yahweh and his ruach moving upon the earth, creating man, the flood, all these things are things I've recently thought about. And it kind of is mind-blowing when you really start trying to wrap your head around a lot of it. But I want to try to make a connection here today about the Ruach Elohim, the Spirit of God, the covenant he has with us, him creating us, the connection between the water, connection between the land, and you know, the connection between us and everything he created, and how all these things move. And there's we can do that in 15 minutes, right? I mean, it's quite a big task. But I'm thinking specifically starting in Isaiah 44, verses 1 through 3. It says, but now hear, O Jacob, my servant, Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus says Yahweh, who made you, who formed you from the womb and will help you. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, Yeshurun, whom I have chosen. For I will pour water on the thirsty land and streams on the dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon your offspring and my blessing on your descendants. So again, we have a picture of Yahweh saying, I made you, I fashioned you. This is creating, this is forming. You're mine. Okay, that's covenant. And he says, I'll pour water on the land and streams and pour my spirit on your offspring. And I kind of want to draw an abstract idea here really quick. When he says I'll pour water on the land, well, Adam was made from the clay outside of Eden. You know, he was made from all over the world and put together and placed in Gan Eden. And so we have a picture here of when he says I'll pour water on the land. To me, that's kind of an abstract way of saying I'm going to pour it out on all my people, you know, pour out on all you. And then we have the idea of the presence of Yahweh hovering over and within. So again, back to the beginning, you know, we find the Ruach Elohim in Genesis 1:2 hovering upon the surface of the water, hovering on literally the face of the water. And then water is a symbol of how Yahweh can move, how he can do things. Water is purification and cleansing, you know, like a baptism, a mikvah, and symbolizing the washing of the word, all of these things. So we have the water in the beginning. We have Noah and the flood, you know, even when the water started to reside, or to recede rather, God caused a wind to pass over the land and the water subsided. And even in this, he caused the Ruach to pass over, and then the water subsided. And then when Abraham, Yahweh says that he caused him to cross over beyond the river. And in Exodus 14, we find Israel crossing over water, crossing through water, where it says that Moshe stretched out his hand, and Yahweh sent a strong east wind to drive the water back all night. Well, he says the east wind is Baruach Kadim. Ruach, of course, Ruach, spirit, wind, same word. Kadim can also imply, it's from the east, but can also imply like the ancient one or ancient of days, because Kadim also means ancient or old. And in Psalm 55:19 and in Micah 5:2, we have both times this word being referenced to Yahweh. And then we have Yehoshua and Israel crossing through the Yarden and crossing through the water as it separates and goes in there. And we have even ultimately coming in a picture of Yeshua when he was walking on the water and called Peter to come to him. And another time when Yeshua was in the boat and there was a storm and he spoke, he calmed the seas. So, you know, even the wind and the waves obey him. That really caused the people to wonder in amazement. Why? Because even with as much as we look around the earth, we've explored the mountains, we've explored the caves, we're exploring the heavens. We've yet to still really explore the depths of the ocean. So we're kind of scared of water. and Yahweh is saying this is one of the ways that he shows us how he moves. So this is kind of like a shotgun scattered kind of approach to a lot of different areas in here. And I'm like, okay, Barry, which direction do you think we should take this today?
Oh my goodness. There's about 15 different directions I guess we could go.
Right.
I'm thinking of our upcoming Torah portion at the time of this recording, which would be Noach. And I've done a previous recording on this already this week. So, I mean, this is familiar territory to me. And chapter number 8, verse number 1, at the end of the days of the flood, it says, Elohim remembered Noach and all the beasts and all the cattle that were with him in the ark. And Elohim made a wind to pass over the earth, and the water subsided. So the flood waters did not just drain like draining a bathtub. The wind had to blow over the waters until they evaporated and were moved off of the face of the earth. So once the storm was over, the end result of the storm took a while. The aftermath took a while. Chapter 8, verse 1 is a mirror picture, as you described, Bereshit, or Genesis chapter 1, verse 2, where the wind or the Ruach is moving upon, blowing upon, hovering over. The King James, I think, says brooding over. Another word there might be incubating. The Ruach was, by blowing and moving over the waters, upon the waters, David, he was incubating the waters. Dr. Sakina, that we both, who we both know, mutual friend and brother, he taught once that it was causing the waters to vibrate. He was bringing a vibratory energy into the waters. What was the purpose of all that activity? Preparing the chaos, the end results of judgment, to receive the restructuring word. Yah says in chapter 1, let there be light. Light appeared. Light was the first step, major step, in producing a structured environment where the kingdom could reside. So in those situations where things seem to be chaotic, seem to be problematic, even traumatic, but you sense and feel the presence of Yah being with you, that could be a mirrored situation likewise, where your troubled water, chaotic situation is being incubated to receive structuring word, so that the purpose of the kingdom can still come to pass. But as in chapter 8, it may take a while. It's not as though this is an instantaneous, spontaneous reaction that is fixed in 24 hours. Or maybe I'm the only one of those people who hope their problems go away in 24 hours period of time.
Yeah, life doesn't work like a television show, does it? You don't have all your problems fixed in 30 minutes.
Very, very rarely. So the role here of the Ruach is more than familiar gifting, shall I say it that way, or chill bumps, or a feeling of affirmation. Sometimes it is the calming, or not really the calming, the preparing of whatever is going on detrimentally to get changed. Darkness does not go away voluntarily. When Israel walked into the land, the inhabitants that were there in the land did not say, okay, the rightful owners are here. I guess we just pack up and go home now. So there's going to be darkness resists the light. It loses to the light, but it tries to resist.
You brought out a decent point there. Yahweh speaking into our lives, and I believe speaking spirit to spirit, right? Him speaking into us and bringing His word, His light, His presence into our lives. Interesting, because scientists have done experiments where they've taken water and put sound frequencies over the water, into the water, and it caused a flash of light.
Really? I didn't know that.
And that again, proving a biblical truth. Yahweh spoke, Yehi or light be, exist, and it was. And so we have another picture of the Ruach Elohim moving over the waters and producing life, and Yahweh speaking into that. Well, mankind is what percentage water?
80%, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember the percent, but I know it's high. Like 3/4. Well, again, Yahweh speaking spirit to spirit into us, producing light, life, and His words coming to us and working all this together. It's an awesome picture of what He did in the beginning with creation, the earth, the heavens, everything there, but He's still doing it in us. He's still speaking His life and light into us by His Ruach. And that's that connection that we have. We need. That's why prayer is so important, isn't it? Because
it is.
We are continually connecting and staying connected with Yahweh and hearing from Him, receiving from Him, having that intentional spot where I'm going to intentionally put everything else aside and stop and listen to You. And that could be that spot where, like Yeshua, in the midst of the turmoil and the storms and everything that was going on, He spoke from the water and said, "Peace, be still." Maybe that's one way. We can see when we're focusing on Him, His word, He can speak into those areas in our life, and we're actually stopped to receive it and see what's actually happening and what's going on. So it's that prayer, it's that spirit to spirit connection.
There's also an understanding when you mentioned the crossing of the water. Rav Shaul wrote that we were all mikvahed in Moshe, and when we crossed over. So the crossing over of waters, even through the Reed Sea or crossing the Jordan, is a picture of a mikvah and an immersion. And the purpose of that in Hebraic understanding, Torah understanding, is a change of our status. In Noah's day, the world was mikvahed by water. It changed the status of the earth from that which was housing unrighteousness to a place that had been cleansed, and made capable of being righteous as a habitation again. Unfortunately, David, Kifa, or Peter says that the next mikvah that comes will not be water, it'll be fire.
Yeah, that's what the Torah says. If something's to mikvah, if it can pass through the water, it passes through the water. And if it can't pass through the water, it passes through the fire, and to burn away the wood, hay, stubble, and everything else. And refining silver, purification, it's a way of refining and purifying things. And that's what Yahweh says He's going to do with us every day on a personal level as well. He will refine you, He will purify you, and He'll use the fire of His presence to do that as well. Holy fire, burning out the things in us that don't belong there. But again, that spirit to spirit connection of hearing His voice and listening to Him and following with Him.
Yeah, if you don't want to be changed, stay away from water and fire.
Well, it sounds like a great way to about sum this up, Barry.
Yeah, we have unfortunately run out of time. So we appreciate your comments, your input, your questions. You can reach us at reunionroadmap@BneiYosefNA.com. And so until next time, David, shalom, brother.
Shalom.